under contract.
It's under contract, and you're going to close pretty soon.
And that's the story for all of them. All the homes that we've done this way. That's how they end up. Yeah, they sell.
Hello everyone, this is Ashley Bonnet with Ashley Lay Real Estate and Keller Williams Realty Elite, and I am here with the beautiful Megan Hartman of Hartman Homes Interiors. Tell us about yourself. Tell us how you got started doing what you're doing.
So I have been staging homes. We also do interior design, so staging and interior design since 2016. My husband and I started renovating and remodeling and flipping houses for ourselves that many years ago. And Ashley Lay was our seller's agent. And it was the second home that we had flipped, which was the first home I had decided to invest in purchasing furniture and staging it, because obviously it was vacant. And I had staged it, and it was like ready to go when she came for her listing appointment. And she walked in the door, and she said, "You should do this for a living." And I was like, well, okay then, let's do it. And we started out very small, obviously. The first job that we ever did was just like 2 rooms. In a home that was kind of having a hard time selling. But yeah, we've just grown since then, and we do all types of properties ranging from smaller $100,000 condos all the way up to, we've staged things that have sold for over $1 million.
But we're talking about this morning about staging. And we were talking earlier, Megan, even as a non-real estate agent, you are not as a realtor, you're seeing this change in the market. What are you seeing? Let folks know what you're seeing.
Yeah, so I'm obviously not an agent, but we do work in the home industry. So all of the things that have been going on for the past few years, all the way back to even before that, we see, we're able to keep up with kind of what's going on. And staging is very important. That first impression, you only get to make that first impression one time, which is why it is so crucial. But what we have lived through for the past year and a half, 2 years, it's been kind of unlike anything really, talking to other people really in our lifetime, that we've ever seen with such a bizarre, crazy, strong seller's market, where people were making offers without ever even seeing the home or stepping foot inside, or they were living somewhere far away and would offer on something, and it's just been wild. So staging took a little bit of a back seat, still very important. That first impression is so important.
And you're exactly right. So what we've seen, and this is the conversation that we are having with our sellers in our initial listing appointment, is, guys, we need to shift our thinking. The market is shifting. We have to shift our thinking as sellers about what is now necessary in this home
to make you more competitive.
We, one of our agents, Amy on the team, says, she pulled from one of the shift calls we do. It's becoming a beauty contest out there.
For real. Yeah.
Yep. And that is this is where you come in.
Absolutely. Because not only are people maybe not quite as eager to buy, but there's more homes in the market also. So that means that your home has to stand out from all the others that they're looking at during their showings that day. You have to be the one that when they go home, you're still thinking about it. With staging, we create an emotional attachment to the home. So the minute that a buyer comes in, they can imagine, oh, that's where my sofa would go, or that's exactly how many people could fit at that dining room table. Or you just take a lot of the roadblocks and a lot of the questions out of their mind by creating just a presence. When they first come in, you want to create that emotional connection, and then I just say we remove those roadblocks. So we answer all their questions with the placement of our furniture and our pieces. We highlight all of the good things about the home, and then we just reinforce that throughout the rest of the home, especially the main living spaces, for sure.
And that emotional attachment doesn't actually just begin when they walk in the home, although it definitely hits them then. So when we are listing a home, we have 2 really important marketing pieces that are going to get folks to the house. It's that well strategized listing price, mixed with well-done photography, well-done professional photography.
Which is so important. See, buyers are only going to click through 3 to 4 pictures before they decide to either schedule a showing or move to the next one. So if those pictures don't make a difference and jump out at them, you've already lost that potential sale. So that matters so much. But in order to have good photos, it needs to be styled well. It needs to be staged properly with the professional photography. They work hand in hand.
All right, so let's talk now about some of your tips and tricks in the home for staging.
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things is, which I kind of touched on earlier, is to highlight all of the things about the home. So I never want to draw attention to what I'm bringing into the home, because that's not what's being sold, right? So we want to highlight the home, the light fixtures. If you have a beautiful fireplace, we want to decorate that mantle to draw attention to it, or any built-ins or character. If it's an older home, we want to highlight what's being sold. So we always want to draw attention to those things. But I think making sure you get your furniture layout correct is the biggest ticket item. I mean, so many times I can walk into a home and within 30 seconds, I know exactly what's wrong with it and how we should lay it out. Because we want it to create conversation areas. We don't want it to all be, we never want all your furniture to touch a wall, because then it just feels kind of like a hospital corridor. Like, it doesn't feel welcoming, it doesn't invite conversation. So we want to set up conversation areas, and then we want to have our scale right. So we need the right size artwork and the right placement. We need the scale of decorating any type of an entry table or a mantle. You need multiple different heights to draw the eye in with your focal point in the center. There's so many different things that go into it. It's not an accident when something looks beautiful. A lot of thought goes into that.
Tell us some of your favorites. So what are some of your go-to?
Sure. So if you're going to make a home goods trip, is that what you're saying? Like, if you have a seller who's going to make a home goods trip, they're going to buy a few things to
Yes.
put in their home.
Or
Okay.
Hobby Lobby, come on
Hobby
now.
Lobby. I have a preference of home goods a little bit, but that's okay. We can go to Hobby Lobby too.
This is a sponsored ad from Home Goods
Sure.
for this.
Well, I spend enough money with them, but yeah. Okay, so definitely get you some baskets with lids, because you can use your baskets for layering to add height to things. I always go to like Goodwill or Habitat for Humanity and grab books. It's the cheapest place you're going to find.
Great
I'll
idea.
stock up on them. So get books, because we're going to add height and stack those books in the right way. So if you have 3 candlesticks, they're all the same height, you cannot display them together. They have to be varying heights.
Mhm.
So put you a few books on the side and stack your candles on that to create like an illusion that they're all different heights. Candles are a big one. I don't always even burn them, but they just look look nice. You always want to decorate in sets of 3 or 5, so you never want to do
Odd
even
numbers.
Odd
Yep.
numbers, yes. So let's say you have a plant and you have a candle, put something with it. So put a tray under it, or
Nice.
stack a book next to it, somewhere to get that odd number. Those are a few things. So plants, go back to our home goods trip. Get you some baskets, get you a plant or two. I always like to put a plant, now not a cheap looking plant that's like obviously fake, but like a nice looking faux plant. Adds a lot of, like a breath of fresh air to a room, makes it just feel fresh and clean. I always like to do a tree for height, then you gotta balance it. So I always do like a tall lamp as well, so you have that balanced height throughout the space. So yeah, books, baskets, plants, candle or two, you have a good starting point. Yeah.
We have a couple examples times we can put dollar signs of what this brought to a seller. So we had a listing last year that it was a beautiful home in Ardmore, was vacant, and it ended up, they had it listed and it expired. So we got the listing.
So I've been active for a whole 6 months.
Yep, and then it expired with the previous listing agent. We picked up that listing and brought you in and said, Megan, like, let's, the feedback was just kind of that it was vanilla.
Kind of bland.
Yep. So brought Megan in to stage the home. We didn't do any additional repairs, updates, staged the home, listed it at the exact same price it expired at,
Yeah.
and that sucker closed for $28,000 over list price.
Over. Do you realize that well paid for staging? Like, so I always tell people.
Multiple more.
I always tell people, I'm like, staging is such a cheap investment for how much money you're going to make because you did that. Because if you have to lower the cost of your home one time, you could have paid for staging multiple times.
Yep.
It's so important.
Let's go with another example. We had a listing where it just wasn't getting the traction, the interest rates had just hiked, buyers were dropping out of the market, more listings were coming on.
This was very recently.
Yes, and it's a great area, great home, well priced, but it just needed a little oomph. So we pull it off. Megan comes in, you paint one room, stage a few rooms in the house.
Stage the most important. I always tell people, you don't have to stage every room. You just stage the key ones, the most important ones, which that's what we do.
And guess what's happening within less than a week of going back on the market?
It's under contract.
It's under contract and you're going to close pretty soon.
And that's the story for all of them. All the homes that we've done this way, that's how they end up. Yeah, they sell. And yeah, you create that emotional attachment for people. They not only offer a home, but they're excited about it, which means they're going to be more lenient and happier when you get to time for inspections. They want it. They're attached to it, so they're going to be easier to work with throughout the whole process.
Yep. All right, so if you're thinking about selling your home and you're choosing to work with the expert professionals, Ashley Lay Real Estate, give us a call, talk to us. We'll go through your home and talk about what needs to be done in preparation for selling in this current market, and it may involve pulling in Megan. So Megan, how can other folks reach out to you for a consultation to work with the decor they have currently or about staging their home?
Yep, so super simple. You can give me an email or a text or a call. My phone number is 336-470-8193. I'm available through text almost anytime or through phone call when my kids are not around, because then I can answer and be professional. Or I have 3 little ones, so they're loud. So text is good, phone call is good as well. Or you can email us. Our business email is Hartman, Hartman Homes, HOMES, LLC @gmail.com. So you can email us and we'll respond and talk to you and figure out what your needs are. You may just need a consult, or you may need more hands-on full staging, and we can accommodate both. So.
Megan, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Absolutely.
Thanks for working on this awesome listing that's
Yeah.
become active, and I appreciate you.